What is good, y'all boys? We're back with another Siege video, but I'm doing a voiceover this time because we're going to be talking about the new operator, RAUORA, however you say her name. I don't think it's Ramora at all, I think it's Rora. Anyway, we're going to be talking about the new operator. I've cut the video down, should just be kills, so you guys aren't sitting through just rounds of footage, but let's go ahead and get started here. Enough yapping. So, the first thing I have to complain about her, there are positives and negatives, but we're going to start with the negatives first. I think that a lot of people can agree with me on the negatives, hopefully some of the positives too. I hope we can at least find some common ground. The negatives I would say first are her gadgets. It's like, if I remember, a smoke grenade and a breach charge. I think that maybe replace the breach charge with a frag grenade or something, or replace the smoke grenade with a frag grenade or a claymore or something like that, because I know she's meant to plant, so maybe the smoke grenade could stay, but the breach charge is like kind of meh. I honestly think that she could do without the breach charge. So that's thing number one, is her gadgets are awful, and her weapons too. Like, her weapons, for what I was expecting, are seriously disappointing. Like, come on, Ubisoft, or if you're gonna give her a single fire, at least give her a DMR. LMG, I don't see an LMG with Aurora. If anything, honestly, I'd say, I'd say maybe like the rifle that Sledge and Thatcher use would be decent, but like not an LMG. That's just one thing I do not see is an LMG with Aurora. I think that the weapons need to be different. The pistol I'm not going to complain about. The pistol is really cool. Her health and speed layout, I'm not going to complain about that at all, because I think that she's like even. I think she's pretty level on both, so I have no complaints about that. Another thing I have, her ability is not bad by any means, but it can bounce off of too much shit, and it's hard to get it to hit the door frame and actually get it to work. I think that it should be able to go onto the door frame a little bit easier than it does. Other than that, I'm not really seeing a whole lot of other negative things with her. I just think that there's better alternatives for offense still. Like, I'd honestly, like, if I had to pick between Callie or Aurora, I think I'd probably have to go Callie at this point, just because Aurora seems kind of mediocre right now. She's not really too crazy. I'm not too excited about her. Her gadgets are mediocre. Her guns are mediocre. Her ability is good, but I'm hardly ever getting the diffuser anyway, so it's really of no use to me anyway. I've only really been seeing use of it with, like, sealing off door entries when my teammates are planting. Otherwise, I'm not really doing anything with it. But with that being said, we're going to move on to the positives. I think that the positives of her are her ability in general is, like, obviously, for me, I don't like the fact that it bounces off too much stuff. It's hard to get it up to go onto the door, stuff like that. But the ability itself is really creative. It's thoughtful. I like it because it helps the attackers be able to actually get a chance to defend. So it's like you can actually get a fair chance to defuse, not defend. And it's like you don't have to really worry when you have Aurora, because I guess that she might not need the diffuser. She can just be like someone to cover. She can just seal off the door entries for whoever is planting. But another thing with that is that none of my teammates are always planting the diffuser, and that's another thing I hate. Honestly, the build of her is really not that bad. I just wish that she had better gadgets and everything. I think that's really just my main complaint, and I was really... So, like, my overall thing with her is, like, I I I support the new operator. I like the new operator. It's thoughtful. It's creative. As always, it's a new sense. It's fresh. It's good. So I could be just complaining for no reason, but these are things that I genuinely just think could be better if they do decide to like buff her. If they're like, okay, this is the first month of her. What are the feedback or what kind of feedback are we looking at here? And then they hear people thinking things like what I'm saying. Maybe they can try and adjust a little bit. I'm sure they're not really going to change the weapons or maybe even the gadgets. Those are probably going to stay. The ability is fine. I'm sure they're not going to change that either. So just it's a balanced operator. I can't expect the operator to come into the game and be the best thing ever, and then people go crazy because it's the best operator in the game, obviously. It's very reminiscent of Demos, where Demos was really popular for a few hours and then people were kind of like, meh, they already fell off of him. That's kind of what I'm getting with RAUORA, and if I'm being honest, for a new operator, I am a little bit disappointed. I thought she'd be way better than she actually is. I could just be talking out of my ass. I might just be bad. Other people might be having hella fun with her. I have gotten in a couple of games with people who are actually really good with her. Me, myself, though, these are just things I think. I think that she could maybe get different weapons, different gadgets, make the ability a little bit more stronger, at least make it so I can shoot the damn door and get the panel on the door, because it's hard for me to actually be able to shield off entryways. And I know that I don't want to say that she should be able to block off walls. Like if there's like a rotate, maybe if you want to use like 2 charges, like she gets 4 charges of her ability, I think that to be able to seal off rotates, she should be able to seal off rotates, but it takes like 2 charges instead of 1. So I think that's another thing that we could look at. Like it could be like an Aruni/castle situation where it can cover doors and walls, just because I feel like, because if there's a rotate, she's useless in a way, because she can't seal that off. However, she can seal off other angles, so you don't really have to worry about getting shot from multiple different angles. That's really helpful. But other than that, I'm just not really seeing a whole lot of impressive things about this operator. I think that when we first saw her, we were expecting something crazy good, and now that she's here, it's just kind of, in my eyes, disappointing. Because when the new season comes out, one thing I always look forward to is the new operator, and this season just felt really lackluster. I felt very underwhelmed. It just doesn't feel very she doesn't feel very strong. It just feels like she's been in the game for a while already, because the day that she came out and I was trying to play her, I was afraid that it was going to be like one of those new operator situations where everyone's clamoring to get her. You're not going to be able to play her. It's just going to be difficult. That's what I was expecting. But no, it wasn't even a competition. Nobody wanted to play her. I'm still not getting in any games with people that want to play her. So that kind of just tells me that she might not really be like as good as I would like her to be. But with all that aside, she's okay. But like I said, I think she's disappointing. But that's how I personally feel. So I hope you guys did enjoy, and you guys could agree with some of the things I said. If you guys did, make sure you guys drop a like and subscribe. Turn on notifications. We're on that grind for 50 to 100k subscribers and Twitch affiliation. Please make sure you guys subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Doses.